All right, welcome back, fellow safe investors. In today's video, we're gonna do a continuation of what I'm gonna start calling it Battle of the Brands. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right, Battle of the Brands. So, if you haven't been keeping up with my page, I already did a stock analysis of AT&T, and then I did a separate video for T-Mobile. So you should know everything that you need to know about those two companies. And in today's video, we're gonna compare those two and ask 3 questions that we always ask: the growth of the company, the stability of the company, and the value of the companies. We're going to compare these two and see which one will come out on top if we compare them in these categories. Let's go. Okay, what you should be seeing on the screen right now is a brief overview of T-Mobile and AT&T's numbers, which is pretty much like the market cap, you know, the PE ratio. I'm gonna start putting in the projected earnings growth in these charts also, or these little brackets that I make, and just to give you a picture of how the company's doing. So just take a look at these real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get into the video. So right off the bat, we're gonna go with growth. So with growth, the only thing that scares me with AT&T is how much they're paying out in their dividend. Like, they have a really high dividend. It's at like 7%, but their payout is like 105%. So they're pretty much borrowing money just to pay a dividend. They don't have to pay a dividend. There is no law requiring a company to pay a dividend. So that's what scares me about AT&T on the growth part. And then they also bought Warner Media recently and put them part of AT&T's brand. And in a time like this, where it's slow economic growth period that we're in right now, where no money is really being spent on advertisement dollars, and you got to think that's where a lot of Warner Media money comes from, like advertisement or movies and things like that. But there's no content being made right now, so you got to take that into consideration. And then when we look at T-Mobile, since T-Mobile went public in 2013, it has done nothing but grow. So when it comes to growth, I got to automatically just give it to T-Mobile. I mean, they are growing crazy. So, and I didn't even like factor in that they merged with Sprint. Like, that was just part of the whole thing right there. So even without the Sprint merger, they still were growing. And with the Sprint merger, T-Mobile would become the United States' second largest communication service provider, if I'm not mistaken, right behind AT&T. So you gotta take that into consideration. So moving on, we're gonna look at sustainability. And the same thing that I had to factor in for the growth side, you gotta look at for the sustainability. How long can they pay all their employees at AT&T and Warner Media before it becomes too much for them to bear? And they probably will have to lay some people off. And I think T-Mobile only have like 56,000 employees. Sustainability. Now, both of these companies are sustainable. I will say that. I don't see neither one of these companies going anywhere anytime soon. Both of these companies are your 2 largest communication service providers, along with Verizon coming in third after the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. So like I said, I don't see either one of these companies going anywhere anytime soon. Maybe if AT&T can't get its balance sheet in order, they might have to leverage some assets. But as big as they are, they can do that. And they bring a lot of revenue. I will say that AT&T brings in like over $100 billion in revenue annually. So I really don't see neither one of these companies going anywhere anytime soon. But with the revenue that AT&T brings in, I might give sustainability to AT&T, even though T-Mobile has a better balance sheet. That's just my opinion. If you disagree, leave some comments below. And let's go on to value. So the value part kind of links in with the growth part. AT&T stock is trading around, I want to say 28, 30 bucks a share right now, and T-Mobile is trading around 90 something bucks a share. And even though AT&T has a much larger market cap than T-Mobile, so if T-Mobile wanted to issue more shares, then that would dilute the shares that I have and pretty much make the shares go down in price. But the reason why a company like AT&T keeps its share price relatively low is to attract more buyers. So that's why AT&T's market price, share price, looks attractive to a lot of people because it's like 30 bucks. So I can spend $100, get about 3 shares, stuff like that. And then with T-Mobile, you spend $100, you get 1 share. But even with that, keeping in mind, I still would have to give the value part to T-Mobile, because I would definitely say that T-Mobile, even though it's, I think the shares are selling for 90 something bucks a share right now, it still will be considered undervalued when you factor in its earnings per share that it has this year. Is much higher than AT&T. It's outpacing the entire market and has been outpacing the entire market for a while now. It's doing better than all your top indexes like the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500s. And with that in mind, I would definitely have to give the value part to T-Mobile, just because, like I said, if you spend $100 now, down the line, that definitely will be worth more money, unless they decide to issue more shares and dilute the shares that you have, or do a split, which is like, if it goes up to $100 and they do a 2-for-1 split, you get 2 shares valued at $100 instead of 1 share that's valued at $100. So you just got to keep that in mind when you look into these companies. And like I said, I always recommend that you do your own research. All of this is just my opinion. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. More videos like this is on the way. And if you have any recommendations or any companies that you want me to look into, please mention them in the comment section below. Hit me up on my DMs, on Instagram at FailSafeWealth, and I'm on Facebook, FailSafeWealth, also the same thing for Twitter. So that's just it for today's Battle of the Brands. We got to give it to T-Mobile. They're the winner. And if you're with T-Mobile, hey, the network's about to get a lot bigger, and prices might even go down with this merger with Sprint, just because they'll have more bandwidth and they can control the market prices with that. So, hey, good luck. Let's get it. Let's do it.